interest we had in putting on some sort of an event this year. I sent out emails to 40 separate entrants. I got back about a dozen, and they were split evenly. Some saying, well, we'd like to do something, just let us know what you're going to do and we'll see if we can do it. Or the response was that, we haven't met since March of 2020. I have no idea what our organization is planning, if anything. And almost all of the youth groups are still under pretty strict COVID protocols, with the understanding that the vaccine is just now getting ready to be rolled out to those under age 16. 80% of the participants in the parade alone fit into that category. The guidelines from the CDC and also from the County of Los Angeles pretty much will allow for an event like we have, but under very strict rules, many of which I'm not sure that we're going to be able to follow with the limited staff that we have to really do those things. That includes making sure people are still socially distanced. Those that have been vaccinated, I guess, are now allowed to be outside, assuming there's distance involved, without a mask. Those that have not been vaccinated are still encouraged to wear a mask. The fireworks show under the county guidelines is pretty much a no-go. I don't see how we can really even put the high school together for a fireworks show under the guidelines. If we were able to, it would severely limit the participation of paying guests, which would severely limit the income that we would have from the show, which would definitely put our budget in a very precarious position. But the thought was that if there is a strong desire within the community to have some sort of an event, let's see what ideas were, what people suggested, whether or not they, wanted to do it or would like to do it. And, out of the 40, like I said, a dozen responses. And they pretty much said, well, we'll defer to whatever your organization, wants to do. Most of them are marching groups. Some of them are vehicles. It just did not seem like it was going to work, but I'm open to any suggestions or advice or any other ideas anybody might have.
I was just curious if before you found out whether or not John Primuth was going to be at tonight's meeting, if he gave you any feedback in terms of his not being here tonight and what his thought process might be, Joe.
No, he did not, Sheila. I don't know if he mentioned anything to you.
No, he did send me an email that he wouldn't be a part of the meeting, but nothing else on the email, so.
Yeah, and the council meeting was a kind of a last minute deal, so certainly city business comes first. The consensus at the last meeting was that at the risk of running our reserve funds so low that we would not be able to do it again next year without a significant inflow of revenue.
That was my take.
Mine too.
Right.
Mine too.
And the thought was, is if there really was an overriding desire in the community to do something, that we would try and pull it off as best we could. We have faced adversity in the past with the loss of the fireworks show, but We do have a history of that and evidence that without the fireworks show and without the income from that, it leaves our budget in a very difficult situation. I did not hear back as to whether or not the council members would contribute part of their discretionary funds. I feel that that would be a bare minimum, not to say that that wasn't discussed, but you know, the council has had more pressing items on their agenda than the 4th of July. My opinion is that with the limitations that we are facing, the uncertainty and the fact that if we do not have the money necessary to do it, it's not going to happen anyway, that we should bite the bullet, prepare for next year, and come back about as strong or stronger than we've ever been.
I'll make that motion.
May I say something, Joe?
Yes, Joan, please.
I'm sorry I wasn't at any of the other meetings, but I did kind of hear what was happening. And I think we have like 1, 2, 3 strikes against us. First of all, no money. Second of all, the children aren't vaccinated and they're going to, and third, we're going to have very strict rules. Plus, we only have 2 months to do it in. I think there's just too many negatives. Plus, out of 40 people returning, out of, I don't know how many you sent out, 40, 12 returning doesn't tell you that's a mass majority that wanted, and only 6 of them wanted it, and it was kind of iffy. And I think we can't say for sure. At the last minute, it could be canceled, and I just think there's too many things against it. And I would love to see it happen, but not at the cost of not ever doing it again. That's all I have to say.
Well, that, you know, that is exactly the point that, you know, it may be that if we do it and it doesn't pan out, that we may not be able to do it again without city funds. And we are very proud of the fact that we have not, you know, needed to tap into the city coffers to be able to pull off our event. And I would like to see it continue that way, that we be self-funded. We've had the generosity of groups like Safeco and the council members with their discretionary funds. And I have heard, you know, Steve Whitmore from the South Pasadena suggested that we do some crowdfunding. He sees a lot of potential for that, but the crowdfunding is not going to do us any good right now if we don't have an event. And to be able to go out and solicit funds or to beg, borrow, and steal to have an event that turns out to be a shell of what it has in the past is not going to look very favorably on the Festival of Balloons.
Exactly. Yeah, that's
Exactly.
Marty, you've done enough fireworks shows or special events. How many other communities do you know of that look to have some 4th of July event? You have a feel for that?
I can honestly say that I've bid on 3 fireworks shows for this year. Chino being one of them. La Crescenta is under the basically a mercy rule on whether or not the city will pay for it. If the city pays for it, they're going to go for it. If the city doesn't pay for it, they just can't afford it either. They're sort of in the same boat we are. A lot of the other ones are Inland Empire type areas where they just have the space to do the, you know, to do the spacing that they need for all of the rules.
Right, and even Orange County, they're, you know, Orange County, some, you know, they're just Orange County. A lot of them are doing it. Like Huntington Beach is having 4 parades throughout the city in different areas. So
Right.
that if you're in this neighborhood, you'll see the parade here. And then there's a parade over here in this neighborhood. That's just crazy. That's crazy.
No, no, absolutely.
Big
No.
To get one done.
And we want something that will, everyone will remember. We don't want something that's going to be a dud, that's the way we end our reign, Joan's reign.
Yes.
True.
Yeah, I mean, the Rose Bowl is not going to do their fireworks, so
Yeah.
they made
San
that decision
Gabriel
a
is
while
not
ago.
doing- Yeah, San Gabriel's not doing their parade. They do a little local parade. They're not doing their parade, because of all the restrictions as well. So,
I just think everybody across the board, all the cities like in the LA County area are just going to forego it this year, and they're going to regroup for next year, and they're going to lean on their cities to provide extra entertainment, extra, fluff to really
Next
bring. And I think that's, what our plan should probably aim for is next year with extra.
Good.
yeah, that's why
Yeah.
I wanted to bring one of our concerts to the event. Like, so, that's kind of one of the things, like, we'll have our band and your sound at our, so that'll be our part. We'll have our concert instead of at the park, we would have it at the high school, so, we have to see like where maybe we can, if we can collaborate with some of our nonprofits and get them to be more of a part and do a part of it, so it's not all on you. That might be something we can start looking into earlier. And I'm more than willing to help, and my staff will help to get information out to say, hey, Trans American Club, what can you do for our parade? Or can you do this stuff on the park? Or maybe there's all the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts are saying, we're going to do everything at the park, and then they work that year to figure out what they want to do to make it something really special. And, we have all kinds of games and easy ups and things that can be used that day. So a lot doesn't have to be purchased, but the scouts can run the games and kind of really feel a part of their community that way, so something to think about, really just kind of start putting our minds towards how we can make next year, kind of really great.
It might be nice if we were to start right after the 4th of July, Joe, and invite people to come and be part of it, and tell them we want to really make next year the biggest that we've had in several years.
And I do have an
We
email list
certainly-
of all those people that were at our last year's March
Right.
meeting. Remember, I have all the phone numbers and emails. So, I have that listed. That's a great start for us.
Exactly. And some of them were very, very gung-ho about doing things, so they might be for next year.
Right, okay. All right then.
I have one more thing, Joe, if I can. Let's, encourage people to reimagine what, 4th of July they want 4th of July to look like. Do they want picnics in the park? Do they want, more fireworks? Do they want different types of fireworks? Do they want, a smaller, more intimate firework? Or do they want, bigger fireworks? Or do they want reimagine? I mean, this is the best time to reorganize and reimagine what 4th of July really can be for the future.
There you
And,
go, Bill.
and just really bring other.
We could do a survey, send something out to everybody, through the city's constant contact, and Bill can have it online. Just, what do you, if we could do it all next year, what could you see? What do you see?
What do you see? Bill, how about I'll buy a page in your paper.
There you go. Okay.
I'll
Sounds-
buy that back page where I do all
Yeah.
my, I love that back page
uh,
with
Yeah, and
find the birds. That's my favorite.
And Bill,
I love your
And I-
paper.
Oh, thank you. And I just wanted to mention that Joe was referring to actually to Stephen Lawrence as opposed to
Sorry,
Steve
I
Steve
apologize.
Whitmore. No apologies needed. I just wanted to
to.
make that correction because, Stephen has made a commitment to do the program every year. So we as a publication are behind it 100%. So certainly want to support it any way we can.
My apologies to Steve.
Oh, no.
He didn't hear us.
No.
Jane and Bill, on that back page, also ask for help. Who would like to participate in helping organize?
Sure.
You know,
And I am sincere. I would be happy to pay for that page.
Okay, thank you, Jan. I'll pass it along. And we'll be in touch. Thanks. So it sounds like we've made a decision without a vote.
Well, I made the motion some
Well, that's
time
what
ago.
happened last year, right? The single most important thing, canceling 4th of July. We didn't have a vote last year.
Yeah, we didn't.
But
We
I'll
didn't.
second Jane's motion if we need a vote for it.
All right, before we move on that, anything else that we want to discuss or get out of the way? Or
I don't think so. Maybe just the next meeting, Joe. I mean, I think maybe a meeting in August, September. Or
Yeah.
even,
Can we approve the March meeting minutes too? It's on the agenda. I don't know if
Yeah.
you.
So moved.
I second.
Jane.
in favor? Aye.
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 You guys are awesome.
We are a well-oiled machine.
Yeah. Who
Yeah.
seconded
Been
that?
there, done that.
Was it
Rosie.
Joan?
Right.
Rosie
Yeah.
seconded.
Okay, Rosie.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
Rosie has made a motion that we put off the Festival of Balloons until 2022.
No,
Is there a second to that motion?
No, I made the motion and Rosie seconded
Rosie
it.
seconded.
I'm sorry, John made the motion, Rosie second. Any further discussion on that item?
well, we can maybe go to Bob McLean's house because he's got the best backdrop right now.
Made specially for this meeting tonight.
Yeah, we're
And you
coming
even
over.
have your shirt on.
I figure this is the one time I'll be able to wear it this year.
Yeah.
Well, maybe on the 4th if you're having a party or something.
That's true. It is one of the few things that I have. It has a flag on it.
So I
All
just
right,
want
all in
to
favor,
go over,
signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
there you go, Joe. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
go over kind of what you guys have mentioned, just, I have to do a report to council just to give them the heads up. I'm gonna say current guidelines limit attendance to the fireworks show, which is so true, which would then kill our revenue. And we would deplete our reserve to even get that started. And then we'd probably be in the negative because we probably wouldn't be able to pay that $20,000+ for the fireworks show without the full stands. Let's see. Limits uncertainties. The children are not vaccinated for the parade. There's really no prep time, though you'd love to see it, but not at the cost of not being able to have it again. Is there anything else I can throw in from you?
Well, I think the fact that Joe, the survey that Joe sent out
Yes.
was so negative.
You're. I have that.
Okay, great.
Sorry, I didn't. Yeah.
That is, I think that's number one. Where, did the dads answer you, Joe?
The dads did. They actually wanted to do something on the line of their little car parade. But the problem with that is that now creates a confined space within the automobiles. They thought about maybe having a fixed parade and a moving spectator. So, yeah.
Well, the dads do it.
No, they were anxious to do something, anything. But, you know, fortunately, it just wasn't gonna happen.
Okay.
Okay. So do you want to think about meeting in August?
Yes.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Let's go ahead and,
I know it's a lot of vacation time for people,
yeah,
but
let's bump it back. I don't wanna,
September.
How about September?
okay. So our normal meeting time would be the 29th? No, 22nd.
Fourth
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Yeah, 22nd.
September
Sounds good.
22nd?
Who knows what's gonna be happening on September 22nd?
Yeah.
That's
knows?
true, but I think
Oh,
we'll have a
it might
pretty
be in
good.
Ireland.
Ooh, wouldn't that be
Ooh.
great? We could all say, we're sorry.
Okay, and then maybe I'll work on some things for a survey too in that meantime. So maybe when we come back in September, it's just kind of an outline of questions, and then we'll look at it, and then you guys can add everything, delete everything, and then it'll be kind of one of those, we'll be able to start getting that out soon. Sooner rather than
I
later.
sent
We don't
out
want
an email to my list and the participants, telling them thanks for your input, but it doesn't look like we'll be able to pull it off this year, but we are looking for input and ideas and participation for next year. And we're going to get started in September to start putting some ideas together.
Perfect. And I think that I'll have my staff work on a page in the community services webpage for Festival of Balloons that I can always redirect people to with that link once we do a survey. So we'll just kind of, this is what we're not doing this year. We're really looking to next year, survey coming out soon type of thing.
Okay, now I don't want to preempt your report to council. So when would you like me to send something out?
Well, the council packet, I think, goes out tomorrow for the May 15th meeting. So it'll probably be the June, let's see, oh, not September. Or the May 19th meeting. Oh, maybe I might be able to get it in by the 19th. Let me ask if I turn it in a day or two late. And then if I can, then I'll get it in, with this one. So it would be May 19th, and if I can't, it'll be June 2nd, but I will let you know for sure what date it is.
Okay, I'll wait for your direction.
Okay, awesome.
Great. Well, thank you, everybody.
Yeah,
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Thank you, all of
Hey,
you.
good luck, Marty.
Yes,
Oh,
and same
Pick
to
it
your
up,
dad
Rick.
as well.
Yes, your dad too.
Sure.
yeah, it's been a crazy time. I spent a lot of time at my parents', but somebody's got to do it.
I hear that your
Right.
handsome son spends a lot of time with his great grandmother.
A lot of time. And she
Huh.
doesn't always remember him, but it's always a fun time with a 95-year-old.
I heard that this really handsome guy was with Grandma Shaw the other day when somebody saw them, and I said it must be Marty's son.
That's sweet.
Yeah, he's almost my size, so I can't wait until he's old enough to take the business, to tell you the truth.
Right. And you three don't have too much fun there. No partying after this.
Partying on the couch there.
Yeah.
All the dogs and my sister Joni. That's our life.
Oh,
I gotta
and
follow
Joan,
an ambulance tomorrow, so that's pre-op for my dad.